moral. When I look at you, literally look at you. This man is draining the absolute life out of you. He is sucking you dry. This man is putting you through all of this. You're still staying in a hotel room with all of them kids who, by the way, look so depressed and so drained for how young they are because they are living in this situation because of you and that other man that he's not even a man, because of that boy that you're living with. Stephanie, that man does not like you. He doesn't love you. He doesn't want to be with you. He is looking for the next couch that he can sleep on so that he can play his PS5. Please understand this. And then after this post, you get back on last night and say, oh, we shouldn't have come to the internet with our problems. I should have waited 24 hours to be able to talk about this. Like, I fully put this on myself. No. He went to drive around the block, figured out he couldn't find a couch to sleep on, a better couch to sleep on, and then came back to the motel because he was like, oh shit, I don't really have anywhere to go, so I guess I'm gonna go back with this chick and all the kids at the motel room. Until he does it again. And again, and again, and again. And you're just allowing it to happen. He does not like you. Take all this TikTok money that you're making, go spend it on your kids, go get a nice little apartment, and leave this fucking man behind. This boy behind. He does not care about you. He doesn't care about those children. He doesn't care about literally anything except for surfing on the next couch that he can find. Okay? Okay, bye. Also, get those kids in therapy. Please, for the love of God, get those kids in therapy ASAP.
Picture this, Drew stomping out of the motel like a man in the middle of a soap opera. His bag slung over his shoulder, head down, looking like life itself had defeated him. He wandered the streets like some tragic movie character, giving viewers the impression he had nowhere to go and nothing left. And just like that, TikTok ate it up. People flooded the comments with sympathy for Stephanie, poor mom, stay strong, we're with you. And of course, the donations started rolling in at lightning speed. Cash App links, PayPal handles, GoFundMes. It was like a charity telethon, but make it TikTok drama. For a moment, Stephanie was the heartbroken heroine, the abandoned mother of 5, and Drew? He was painted as the villain who walked out when his family needed him most. The internet rallied behind her like she was starring in her own reality show. But then came the plot twist, and it was a good one. Less than a day later, Drew magically reappeared. Not just back in the motel, but sitting in his gaming chair like nothing had happened. And there it was, the infamous PS5, sitting untouched in the background like the biggest receipt of all. Because let's be real, who storms out in heartbreak but leaves their most prized possession behind? Nobody. A tragic breakup, unraveled in seconds. Stephanie has learned the TikTok playbook better than anyone. If chaos equals clicks, clicks equal donations, and donations keep the lights on. It's a formula she knows by heart. Create drama, spark outrage, let the views climb, and watch the money flow. Every tear she sheds, every dramatic pause, every frantic phone call, it's all part of the act. And viewers, whether they admit it or not, can't look away. But the cracks are showing. Creators started piecing it together. If this breakup with Drew was real, why did every single livestream feel so rehearsed, like a scripted scene meant to tug at emotions? Stephanie has turned her personal life into a stage play where heartbreak doesn't just hurt, it pays. The more chaotic the storyline, the more viral the clips.
Jenkins crashes out on her daughter because she is not properly watching her baby while she's on live. Listen to this clip.
Honey, stop looking at me like that. If that's how it goes down. I asked you, I gave you the option. Help with your sister for a minute, or you can get up and do the chores that aren't, they're no chores. They're literally yours. There is no Miss Rachel. Hang on. Last 10 year old girl should be. Holy fuck. Give me the baby now and go do your work.
And what happens is that Stephanie loses her cool, she steps away, and she tries to attempt to say under her breath, shut the fuck up, stop disturbing me, or something along those lines, and then says, fuck you, straight to her daughter's face.
Right back together, so this was just rage bait at its finest. Or perhaps it's 24 hours we should have stayed off the fucking internet. You feel me? Perhaps it's just that Drew and I should have handled our shit without getting the fuck online. And I'm gonna fully admit that started with me. But maybe it's because I felt like it was what I needed to do to catch the man's attention. Him and I have been arguing and dealing with some shit pretty intensely for the past month, and I'm not gonna lie, that fucking like side chick account had me in my goddamn head, because I'm like, why is this shit talking about stuff you would literally have a conversation with me about?
We posted a new video, and she said that the Drew side piece page had her in her head. She also regrets making a video talking about the whole situation and that she was just trying to get Drew's attention, which I find crazy, because why are you trying to get a man's attention who got up and left you and them kids in that motel room? She also said that for the last month, her and Drew have been struggling with their relationship. Stephanie, I'm telling you right now, this is not going to be the first or the last time you get on here crying your eyes out because Drew is cheating on you. You even said that he blocked you, girl. And no, I'm not saying that they were fake in this whole situation. I do believe that they were definitely going through something. And of course, any drama is gonna pop off. It is so important to be having your own money, considering the fact that a man can leave you at any moment and given time. With all of those children, and he took the car too. And if he did it once, he'll do it again. But please do not get upset and start yelling at us because we don't believe when you said that you're gonna leave him.
The more viral the clips, the more brand deals, gifts, and sponsorships roll in. It's not just messy content anymore, it's a business model. And here's the kicker, this isn't Stephanie's first time running the same play. Her entire TikTok presence has been built on this pattern since the very beginning. Even Drew himself once slipped up and admitted during a live stream that she paints me however she wants, as long as it brings us money. That wasn't just a confession, it was the blueprint for everything that followed. Every fight, every screaming match, every emotional breakdown followed by a teary reconciliation, it all serves one purpose, monetization. Stephanie doesn't just sell drama. She sells dysfunction. This became painfully clear during one of her biggest controversies, the custody battle involving young Deshaun. TikTok exploded with accusations that Stephanie was alienating him from his biological mother, and the backlash was instant. But instead of taking responsibility or clarifying the situation, Stephanie played her hand carefully. She shifted the blame onto Drew, and Drew, loyal to a fault, or maybe just trapped in the cycle, took it. He publicly absorbed the heat, letting her maintain the innocent mom just trying to survive, image that keeps donations pouring in. Sympathy is her currency, and Drew was the willing scapegoat. But the darkest turn came not with Drew, not with the fake breakups, but with her children themselves being pulled deeper into the content machine. During one members-only live stream, Stephanie asked her 10-year-old daughter to watch over her 7-month-old sibling so she could continue streaming uninterrupted. Viewers could feel the tension instantly. The little girl tried to do her best, but frustration bubbled up fast, and the moment was captured in real time. "I'm trying, Mom," the child said, only for Stephanie to snap back harshly, "No, you're not. You're making things harder." The scene escalated quickly. Stephanie stepped off camera, but her voice carried through the mic, sharp and laced with profanity, berating her daughter for being lazy and useless.
Stephanie, yo, do you hear what you're saying? Basically, she was just like, I just was really convinced that he was cheating on me. She said she confronted him about it, he get to acting weird. She never specified how they reconciled, but he back in his gaming chair. She told my son, yeah, I think we just really just needed just 24 hours off the internet. Sis, it's not too late. It's not too late. You can start right now. You can start today. She made it seem like that was some sort of hard thing to do. Like, we just really just needed to be off of social media. I think so too. I think so too. But we all know at this point that is never going to happen. They both immediately took to the internet with this skit. And And we know that it's a skit because, first of all, something we just needed to be off the internet for 24 hours. Drew had been off the internet for weeks. Until all of a sudden, y'all came up with this plan. Long story short, what she really wanted to say was, hey, we tried to do a little skit. Y'all ain't fall for it. So we just gonna go ahead and just wrap it on up because we still got more begging to do. And then she also wasn't gonna be able to explain how he was back in the chair when she do her resets. But hey, whether they together, separate, don't really matter to me. All I know is this content is so profitable that the $1,000 that I spent on that football equipment, I got half of it back already just by doing this content. So I'm gonna keep going. I hope they keep on breaking up and getting back together. What they gonna do today? I can't wait to see. And if they keep it up, I'm just gonna use these funds and sponsor my kids' whole football team with their antics. So, maybe she don't need to stay off the internet for 24 hours. Do you, girl? Do you? You're doing great. You're doing great. Keep up the good work.
I'm starting to wonder if Stephanie cussing directly in her children's faces is part of her rage bait strategy. If you haven't heard, Stephanie went on live apparently for subs only. Like, who the fuck is paying for that? That's what I want to know. But went on subs only today. She was at it with her oldest daughter, which I personally can no longer stand to hear. It is so sad. The depletion in this child is unreal. She's going back and forth with this child, basically saying that she needs to watch her sister so that she doesn't have to do chores, and in turn, Stephanie can make her stupid live. Well, apparently her oldest daughter was not doing what she needed her to do. So much so, the daughter says in a very elevated and sad voice, "I'm trying so hard to help you." And Stephanie replies back, "No, you're not." Well, anyway, I guess the daughter continues to push back. But then what happens is that Stephanie loses her cool. She steps away and she tries to attempt to say under her breath, "Shut the fuck up, stop disturbing me," or something along those lines, and then says, "Fuck you," straight to her daughter's face. I'm going to tag the creator below who saved the audio from that live. Check it out if you want to hear the full audio, because she has like 3 or 4 minutes of this live. So after she says that to her daughter, she then posts this video next.
There she goes, posting like it's just another day and nothing went down. Well, yeah, honey, that's called life. Then there's a good amount of people who are just here to hate and spread their opinions, and that's just how miserable people operate, and that's them. I don't really give a crap.
Imagine putting on a front and being like, "I don't really give a crap," when you're literally talking directly to your daughter and saying, "Fuck you." Just say, "I don't give a fuck." I have said this so many times, just speak. Just speak the way that you're speaking to your children. Just speak so that people can actually see the authentic you that you're always claiming you want to be. Also, imagine calling people who have been watching your story unfold the miserable ones. You are so miserable and you blame everybody else. You think people aren't going to have an opinion that you're back with Drew after 24 hours of your whatever the fuck you want to call that, and that people aren't going to continue to call you out when you are talking to your children like this. It is baffling to me, and I'm going to be really honest. I take breaks from the Resilient Jenkins content because it's a lot. It's a lot. Nothing changes. It's like watching a slow burning building, and it's just never ending. And I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel like she is getting the views that she wanted. Maybe she's getting some attention on the other apps, which is what people have speculated. And I think I'm just done. You can't say that kind of stuff underneath your breath and not expect people to believe that is the real you. You claim you want to be authentic, start being authentic. Because when we hear that stuff, when we hear the way you actually talk to your children, when you have the audacity to talk to them and treat your daughter like she is your co-parent, that's the real you. At this point, I'm just disgusted. I gotta take a break. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.
Meanwhile, Drew sat just a few feet away, fully locked into his video game, headset on, making no move to intervene. Thousands of viewers watched a child being scolded, shamed, and emotionally crushed in real time. The live chat lit up like wildfire, people begging her to stop, furious that a child was being humiliated in front of strangers for the sake of a content. And then the floodgates opened. Clips from the live stream spread like wildfire across TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Stitch after stitch, creators called her out. Some labeled it blatant exploitation, others pointed to a disturbing pattern in her parenting that could no longer be ignored. What had once been brushed off as a messy TikTok drama was now being called what it really looked like: emotional abuse, broadcast to the masses. The conversation shifted overnight. This wasn't just about Stephanie and Drew's toxic cycle anymore, it was about the kids. Hashtags like #ProtectTheKids and #JusticeForSteph's started trending, racking up millions of views. Some viewers openly admitted they had filed reports with Child Protective Services. Whether or not CPS actually acted immediately didn't matter, the damage was done. The narrative around Stephanie Jenkins had shifted forever. The fallout was instant and brutal. Within hours, TikTok lit up with debates, stitches, and long-form breakdowns dissecting every single frame of Stephanie's life. Entire sections of the app turned into courtrooms, with creators replaying clips, freezing frames, and analyzing her tone like it was evidence in a trial. Longtime supporters, people who had defended her for months, suddenly flipped. "I can't defend this anymore," some wrote as they hit the unfollow button. Others declared her actions unforgivable. And it wasn't just her fan base that turned cold. Brands that once partnered with her quietly pulled the plug. A few even went public with carefully worded statements making it crystal clear they wanted no part in the controversy. Sponsorships vanished almost overnight, stripping away one of her biggest revenue streams. One larger creator summed up the outrage in a single tweet that went viral: "Living in a motel is already hard enough for the kids, but casting them out on camera? Unforgivable." But this wasn't just anger. TikTok mobilized.
You mentioned her, but I think of Stephanie a lot. Drew is not autistic. Drew is a narcissist. I'm not saying she's off the hook. I do not know. I am not here to judge anyone, but I really feel like that she would completely thrive if she was away from this man. I've heard some of the footage of him saying, like, "You're not going to do that while I'm here," talking to the kids and stuff, when he wouldn't get their daughter donuts and he had promised. This is textbook narcissist stuff, and he is letting her put an autistic label on him happily, because if he's autistic, he's not a narcissist, right? I 100% do not think that that man is autistic. And you have to go through diagnosis for that. Because did you know that there are some things that can be, I'm learning this now, going through this with my 5-year-old. There are things that can be wrong that come across and come out as autism or ADHD, that it's really just untreated other problems. Like my 5-year-old having vagus nerve damage and extremely large tonsils. Her tongue doesn't touch the roof of her mouth, so her body's never in rest mode. She's not speaking well. She's walking on her tiptoes. Like, there's things that like that I thought she was for sure autistic. Now that we're going to the doctor and we're getting these other problems taken care of. So it really is worrisome to me that she is putting this autistic label on herself, I think, even her husband and some of her kids, without a doctor's diagnosis. It is harmful. But at the same time, I have been in her shoes, and you reach for everything that you can. You want an explanation as to why this man isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing. It's easier to blame autism than to just say he's an asshole and lazy. I think that Stephanie would thrive if she got away from him, but she would have a lot of work that she also needed to do on her own self. I have lived in a motel before. I have been homeless. I have been strung out on drugs. I have a lot of kids. I have a blended family. I've been a stepmother. I have had a stepfather for my kids, like all the things. And the fact that that man gets on there and plays that PlayStation while they're living in a motel room literally makes me want to reach through my phone and shake her. Like, girl, it doesn't get better. It only gets worse. It took me so long to realize that, though. I had to take myself into therapy. I had to reach my own breaking point and get my own self into therapy. And now I've learned things that I can never unlearn. I hope and pray that Stephanie gets to this point for the children's sake.
Jenkins crashes out on her daughter because she is not properly watching her baby while she's on live. Listen to this clip.
Honey, stop looking at me like that. If that's how it goes down. I asked you, I gave you the option to help with your sister for a minute, or you can get up and do the chores that aren't, they're literal chores. They're literally yours. There is none of Miss Rachel. Yeah.
Not 10-year-old girl it should be.
Holy fuck. Give me the baby now and go do your chores.
And what happens is that Stephanie loses her cool. She steps away and she tries to attempt to say under her breath, "Shut the fuck up, stop disturbing me," or something along those lines, and then says, "Fuck you," straight to her daughter's face.
Right back together, so this was just rage bait at its finest. Or perhaps it's 24 hours we should have stayed off the fucking internet. You feel me? Perhaps it's just that Drew and I should have handled our shit without getting the fuck online. And I'm gonna fully admit that started with me. But maybe it's because I felt like it was what I needed to do to catch the man's attention. Him and I have been arguing and dealing with some shit pretty intensely for the past month, and I'm not gonna lie, that fucking like side chick account had me in my goddamn head, because I'm like, why is this shit talking about stuff you would literally have a conversation with me about?
Bigger creators started amplifying calls for accountability, urging their audiences to report Stephanie's behavior directly to authorities. CPS reports began to spike, and multiple TikTokers claimed they personally filed complaints. The narrative shifted sharply. Stephanie was no longer the struggling mom viewers rallied behind. She was now being framed as a parent who had crossed into harmful territory. Her reputation, once built on chaos that audiences found entertaining, collapsed like a house of cards. Recovery, if possible at all, would take far more than crocodile tears and shaky livestream apologies. For many, the line had been crossed, and crossed publicly. But zoom out, and the story is bigger than Stephanie. What's unfolding isn't just one mom's downfall, it's a mirror held up to influencer culture itself. This is what happens when social media rewards dysfunction. Outrage fuels the algorithm, tears drive traffic, and family trauma becomes a business strategy. When likes, donations, and sponsorships are tied directly to personal pain, how long before creators stop living their real lives and start scripting them for the camera? And when kids are pulled into the middle of it, what are the costs? Stephanie's case raises questions that cut deep. Where does a relatable content end and exploitation begin? How much privacy should children be entitled to when their lives are being turned into live-stream soap operas they never consented to? What does consent even mean for a 10-year-old whose worst moments are being broadcast to millions? Every staged breakup, every screaming fight, every monetized meltdown chips away at trust, not just in Stephanie, but in the platform that allows this cycle to keep running unchecked. And yet, even as sponsors back away and followers disappear, Stephanie insists she's doing her best. Her defenders argue she's just a mom under pressure, struggling to make ends meet. But the evidence, the staged breakups, the scripted reconciliations, the verbal attacks on her daughter, the live streams that blur the line between content and cruelty, paints a far more troubling picture. The court of public opinion is watching closely. CPS involvement looms like a storm cloud, hashtags calling for the kids' protection keep trending, and TikTok itself seems to have turned against the woman it once elevated. The verdict? Still pending. But here's the truth, in this courtroom, you're the jury. Is Stephanie guilty of manipulation and neglect, or is she simply misunderstood and drowning under pressure? Either way, the trial isn't over. The next chapter is already brewing, and if history has taught us anything about Stephanie Jenkins, it's that with her, the drama never ends. And that's where we'll leave it for now, jury. But trust me, this story is far from over. Drop your verdict in the comments, guilty, innocent, or misunderstood, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next chapter in this trial is about to get even messier.